Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing an item from Maker's Cabinet, which is a UK based company who do really interesting brass stationery and accessory kind of stuff. You might be familiar with the iris, the device for drawing circles that you can twist and it makes a larger or smaller diameter. This particular item is the Ferrule, which is the pencil extender. It's made of brass, and it is brass and stainless steel. And it was a Kickstarter project, now available sort of in regular trade. I'm going to have a look at this. I'm going to show some parts and features, and then talk about some pros and cons and things like that. This is the packaging. I'll just turn it sideways so we can get it all on the frame here. Nice sort of simple cardboard packaging. It's all totally recyclable, which is great, and this gives a bit of information about it, and I'll sort of run through this here. So it's a solid brass pencil extender which elevates the pencil to the quality of a pen. Use the full life of your pencils and erasers whilst retaining function even at their shortest length. So this is the basics of it, what you do. And so you put a pencil, when the pencil gets to a certain length, you put it in the extender here, or the ferrule, and it allows you to use it to the end of its life. And here are some features of it. So it holds a 7 to 8 millimeter diameter pencils, and these are the pencils that the Maker's Cabinet use. It's incense cedar, made by Kitaboshi in Japan, or I'm not quite sure how to say that. The actual set comes with 3 HB and 3 2B pencils, as well as 3 of the 25 millimeter extendable erasers. And yeah, that's sort of what you get with it, as well as, I might as well show it here now, the brass ferrule. So it's roughly the size of a standard pen. It's a brass and stainless steel materials, and it's beautiful, and it's sort of incredibly functional, and that's sort of the key feature of it. So in the packaging, and things have moved around a little bit, you get a little bit of information which shows you how to load the pencils and the eraser, and then sort of what is available. You can also get a leather sheath, as well as replacement or refill pencils and erasers. And then sort of it comes with a little pencil in the ferrule, and then, as I said, the HB and 2B pencils and the eraser, all recyclable packaging, which is great. As I said, it was a Kickstarter project, and that's where I purchased this. It's now available from a number of retailers, sort of as regular trade. The price point on this is £68 or 130 Australian dollars. So you are spending a pretty, it's not a premium price, but you are spending a little bit to make, for an extension on a pencil. But what you're getting is a very well engineered, very well made, and useful product that does exactly what it's designed to do in some pretty nice ways. So the eraser is, you got this little knurled end here that you twist, and the clip is held on by that as well. And then you are able to replace the eraser in there. It's a really tight fit, but with this sort of slit down it opens up just a little bit, enough to make that usable. And then, as I said, you put the pencil or the clip back in there, and you find its little notch and secure it down. The clip is stainless steel. It is polished. It's got a nice little Maker's logo on there. The pen, or the body, sort of swells out towards this little center bandy area, and then sort of goes from being cylindrical to being, I think it's hexagonal. Trying to get that on camera. So it gives you a decent sort of grip section. It's also got a bit of texture on the brass there, which is really nice and stops it being slippery. It is brass, so it will patina, and personally, I'm absolutely okay with that. So to release the pencil, you turn the end there, and you see it opens up and actually gives you the Ferrule name there. And it's got a little spring loading, and then the pencil goes in. So I'm using one of these 2B pencils, and it's at its full length. It's been sharpened a couple of times, and it's got a nice sort of spring to lock it down. Obviously there is a maximum length of pencil that you can use in this, but the minimum would be down to, within the grip section there. The pencils it comes with are okay. I don't mind them. I think the 2B is just a little too perhaps too soft. I generally use 2B pencils and find this one, whereas the point retention is quite low. Also, This was sharpened with a Mobius and Rupert sharper, pencil sharpener, and you can see that it's kind of just like the grain of the wood is a little bit sort of loose or something. You don't get a particularly smooth sharpen, and you can also see that here on the HB version, which I've been using. The beauty of a product like this is that it can be used with any pencil that fits within that 7 to 8 millimeter diameter. And so, once your pencils you use every day sort of start to wear down to their short length, you can extend that using this, and it gives it a nice weight. It weighs 48 grams, so it's actually got a fairly decent sort of weight in the hand, and you feel that, and I kind of like that, because being a primarily fountain pen user, I think adding the width through this beautiful brass section, adding the weight of the brass, it gives it that feeling, as they say, which elevates the pencil to the quality of a pen. And I think a lot of the detail in the engineering and the design of this have gone into giving it the feel of a pen in the hand. It's that extra, for me, it's that extra weight and just that extra girth makes a big difference. Just for a simple size comparison now, I'm just going to put it alongside a sort of a standard unsharpened Blackwing pencil, so it gives you a sense of the length. And then a couple of other things we might be familiar with, a Lamy Safari, this is the rollerball version, and then just a standard 4-click Bic pen. So you can see the length of it. It's on par with what's actually a little longer than, say, something like the Bic. And if we open up the Safari, you see like it's got a decent length on it. I find the length at 132. It's 132 millimeters to the end of the brass, and then with the extension of the pencil, like mine came in at about 152 when I had the pencil, measured it with the pencil in there. So it's a good length. It gives you a nice length off the page when you're holding it with the extended there. It's a really nice functional product that does everything it's designed to do, and does it with, I think, a very, very nice style. As I said, the brass will patina, and I'll show a picture of it when I opened it up out of the package here, so you can see what it looks like unpatinaed. I've been using it for a couple of weeks, and I think the patina isn't particularly strong yet, but I think it will definitely it'll definitely come up nice over a more period of use. Just for the sake of the exercise, I'll do a little bit of writing here. So we have the Maker's Cabinet. Ferrule. It's brass. And this I'm using here is the 2B pencil. And as I said, these are incense cedar made by Kitaboshi in Japan. They're nice. As I said, the 2B feels a little bit sort of soft. You can see it lays down a very, very dark line. I have just a standard Tombow mono eraser here. This is Clairefontaine paper, so it's nice and smooth. It erases very, very well. And here is I'll just write with the HB out of the brass. You can see that the HB also is quite a dark HB. They just feel very soft. Like this is, I think, I'm not sure what it is about the compound, but when you use things like a Blackwing pencil and you actually get, like, they're very smooth, particularly the balanced graphite, very smooth and has relatively good point retention. Something like this where the point retention is so, well, it just sort of, it's because it is soft, the point retention is not great. It wears down very, very quickly. You're finding you're having to sharpen it a bit more regularly. And the sharpening of this is actually a little trickier because you actually have to take the pencil out to sharpen it and then sort of put it back in it. So the convenience of that is not there. So this review isn't so much a review of the actual pencils that come with it. You can put whatever pencil you want in there. The review is of the actual brass unit. And so really one of the only cons I have is that I'm not a huge fan of the actual pencils. So when you're reviewing the brass unit and that's the only con, that's a pretty good situation to be in. I think the weight of this is brilliant. I think the texture on the grip section there, where it's like slightly brushed, I think that gives it a really nice feel in the hand, as does the width. I think the build quality is astounding. Like, they did go through a couple of issues with a couple of bits and pieces in the Kickstarter process. It's tradition with Kickstarter, it seems, that everything kind of gets delayed, and over a year with, things like COVID-19, there's going to be extra delays, and so that can be forgiven for sure. But the quality of the cutting, the design, the manufacturing is astounding. That spring sort of grip of the pencil is secure, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's really very, very good. The eraser is okay. I don't use it much. I don't tend to use the erasers on ends of things that much. I have though, and I've tried it out and it works okay. I think for the price, you're getting a very, very good product, and a product you're going to use for a long time. If you are a pencil user and you get to that stage where your pencils are just too short to use and you end up throwing them out or whatever, that's a real shame. So this is a great product if that is something that you find. I use pencils a lot as a musician. So I find that I'm working through them a lot, but they do get to a point where they're just too small to use. And for me, it's kind of like, so this is the pencil as it comes. I could still use that any shorter than this, and it starts to get like, those little golf pencils or the pencils you have at like casinos and things like that. It just becomes a little bit uncomfortable to use, and that's where something like this really comes in. But also this works so well, for durability. As I said, the feel in the hand, the weight of it, the texture, the size. So this was the Maker's Cabinet Ferrule, the brass and stainless steel pencil extender. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel by sponsoring a review or providing an item for review, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your writing instruments, whatever they may be, and I'll talk to you soon.